Everyone keeps asking me how to get the most accurate placement of your zodiac sign. I use Cosmic Insight app. I just put my name, time, place of birth, and then I get all the details of my natal chart. Your sun sign, your moon sign, your ascendant, and other planets as well. So, download it. It's in my affiliate link below. Hi everybody, welcome to Let's Learn Astrology with Sal. This is the first installment of learning astrology, Vedic sidereal, Indian astrology with me. Okay, so we're gonna go through different parts of astrology in this channel. While there are parts that you want to discuss, make sure you just comment so we would be aware on what subjects you want us to bring in this channel. And also make sure to click like so we know that we are doing something that resonates with you towards learning. Now, please do keep in mind that we are practicing Vedic sidereal astrology, which is the actual placement of the planet. So what we do is, in astronomy, we look at the universe, at the stars, and then that's where the planet is. And that's basically basic explanation of what we follow and how we read it. So again, this is not Western astrology, if you guys are wondering. Now that that's established, our first subject for today, while this is gonna be surface level of discussion. So if you are a person who has a lot of who's schooled already for in astrology, then this might interest you. But again, these are for the beginners so that they can open their eyes and understand more. So let's begin. Now, we have here on our board, okay. Today's topic is how to say this, what the importance of our ascendant sign. Or if you look at your chart, remember how I always say in the app, so you first download the app if you are not familiar with your birth chart. Down there is the app that I use, so we have the same birth chart, same software that we are using. You just need your time and place of birth, and then you will be able to get your birth chart. So you know where what you will see is, sorry guys, you will see this word there. It's the ASC. This is what you call the ascendant sign. Okay, so that's what you will see in the in your chart. So the importance of this ascendant, which is we also called the first house. Okay, so let me explain the importance of knowing what is your ascendant sign, because this is where your life, how to say this, the direction of your life is going towards. Okay, so let me remove the planets. Okay, because I was doing some lecture earlier. So let me remove the sun. Let me remove the Venus. I hope you guys are liking this segment because we're pushing forward with learning more so we can learn who we are as a person. Okay, so let me discuss certain controversial. Let me move. This is okay. It's just getting to me because I have the planets out there. Okay, so let me move. Let me start first with having. Let's just say Scorpio is your first house. So we have Scorpio Ascendant. So this is where you will see it in the app. So you will see that there's still tiny ASC. Okay, so this becomes your ascendant. Okay, so this becomes your ascendant. Now, what is the significance with having ascendant in Scorpio? Because having a Scorpio first house or Scorpio ascendant, this is the start of your life, and then all the way to the 12th house. This is the end, basically, of not that you're gonna die, but this is the 12th house, is the last house. So there's First house, second house. So there's 12 houses. Okay. So the 12 houses is the different parts of our life. So let's just say that since now you know that this is your first house, this is what we call the I. This is yourself. So each part of the houses has a corresponding body. Each part of this. So each part from Scorpio Ascendant would have a particular body also. Each house will also show a particular part of your life. So that's why we need to know first, where does it begin? So if we know that your Scorpio first house as your ascendant, then we already know what is belonging to your feet, which is going to be Libra, because the head all the way to the feet is going to be 12th house. Then if we know that Libra is your 12th house, then you probably like to have nice shoes, because 12th house is the feet and Libra is Venus, and Venus is luxury. So you tend to like nice, good things with regards to your feet. Very, very particular. And that's why it's important for us to know the ascendant, because each house will signify a part of your life. So having a Scorpio ascendant, let's explain how is a Scorpio ascendant to your relationship, because this is one of the biggest question. Then having a Scorpio first house, then your 7th house will be, let me just get this one. Okay. Ooh. Sorry. So this, the second house, your 7th house. Okay. Done. So now your 7th house will be Taurus. We haven't identified the Lagna Lord, okay, which means you are ruled by Mars. So having this is, if this is your 7th house, oh, wow, oh, I didn't know that it can go circle also. Okay, but let me just, I'd rather have the marker. Sorry, folks, it's a little tight over here. Okay, so having the Taurus as your 7th house, then we know that this Scorpio in relationship again will be very Venusian. So what is Venusian? Partnership oriented. So a Scorpio would act like a Taurus in this part of his life, because this is gonna be now it's a house. You're gonna make this as your house of partnership. Then they have a tendency to really find their counterpart in life, because this is Mars ruled and this is Venus ruled. So a Scorpio really desires to have partnership, because men are from Mars, right? And women are from Venus. So that's one significant thing. And then, as we call this as the Rashi chart, as the D1, this is going to be a very important reference, because each part of our life has a what we call how to say this, a Varga chart, a divisional chart. So there will be a chart for your birth, once you got born, and then there's gonna be another chart for marriage. And in that chart, your ascendant will change, because we compute it through degrees, which we call Navamsha, or the D9, the destiny chart. So in D9, for example, we would compare now what is your birth chart, and how strong is your Venus placement, because Venus rules the Navamsha. Where is it placed, and how is it relating to when you were born? So there are 17 divisional chart. There's gonna be a chart for career. There's gonna be a chart for your wealth, a chart where, for your kids, a chart for your income. So those are important chart that needs to be referenced still for in the Rashi chart, which is the D1. Okay, so let's give another example. Let's move Scorpio, let's move to Gemini as the first house. So now the Gemini will have Sagittarius as the seventh house. So we move now this. So Gemini Ascendant. So having a Gemini Ascendant, then naturally their seventh house will be Sagittarius. So their partnership is very Jupiterian. So they would attract a relationship that is very much of a guru type, someone who has a lot of wisdom. But that is also how they will be in the partnership. And that's why there's also a tendency for a Gemini to seek more mature intellectual type. Again, we are only referencing through the ascendant without the placement of the lordship, which means the owner of the houses. We're just looking at the ascendant, because this would change if, let's just say, Jupiter is in the Jupiter is in the ninth, because remember Jupiter is the spouse. So we're just looking at the houses. So having a Gemini Ascendant, we're gonna count 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pisces as the 10th house of career. We can look at the Gemini's career in the 10th house, which involves having a 10th house in Pisces, which means it's very watery. A Gemini can be very artistic. It can also lead a Gemini to being creative, as someone who creates, how to say this, things out of this world, because Pisces is the last zodiac and it's very etherical, so very, very creative, having a Gemini ascendant. So this can be a writer, a poet, a musician, a movie, a script writer, all these things. A Gemini will be able to, how to call this, that's what they're leaning towards to. But a Gemini also can have its creativity house, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth house in Libra. This is Libra. So Gemini's creativity is Venusian at the same time. So a person can write something creative about love. So a Gemini will also want, because fifth house is romantic connection. So a Gemini would like to have some romance because of Venus ruled, and the partnership goes to the seventh house, which means they want someone who makes them feel secure, romantic type also. So those are combination. And this is because we know where it begins. So without the ascendant, let's just say, oh, there's no ascendant. We do not know the ascendant. And let's just say we only know the sun sign. Then it does not show where your life begins, where your life path is. And without the ascendant, then we wouldn't know how to see where your career is and how to see your destiny, because we wouldn't know your Navamsha chart. So that's why it's important. Now let's go, since we discussed Libra, let's go for Libra as your first house. So it means now the seventh house for Libra is Aries. So the Libra will have a very, very strong character once they go to partnership, because it becomes, influenced by the zodiac of Aries, seventh house. So which means a Libra can show a level of how independence, while they're very relationship oriented because it's ruled by Venus. Once they are in partnership, they will show that they are independent in the partnership and they're very strong-willed. That's what's going on here. Now, having a seventh house in Libra, then it will show that in their fourth house, look at this, second, third, and fourth, which is Capricorn. So they want a very organized home type of living, because Capricorn is the, how to call it, a very, it is structured. Okay, it is a Saturn ruled house, so it means the Libra would want a certain structure at home. And also they would want something that is secure and long term. So a Libra will not be moving one house, but of course it can. We're just looking at the houses, but they want basically the necessities. But being Venus, they want the good thing out of the necessities. I mean, like, not necessities, the basic necessities of a home. So that's what Libra would be, sorry guys, would be resonating with as far as the level of comfort. It likes to have its home very, very organized. Now, this is if it's Libra. So that's why this is very important to know which is our ascendant sign. So that way we can, sorry, it's just bothering me, guys. Okay. So that way we can, we can predict how your life will be. But this is, this is like just a small part of astrology. This is one of the basic. Knowing the ascendant will show the life path of who you will be, who you will be in this present life. And then after that, we will be able to connect other divisional chart. And once we put those together, then we can see the person or the native's characteristics and how they are going to manifest here in this lifetime. And that's the importance of knowing your ascendant sign. Each house represent, when we were talking about the Scorpio as an ascendant over here, and then we're gonna compare it also same thing as the how to say that, as the Gemini earlier, as the career. Let me see. So let's just say 10th house. Okay. So the 10th house, so having a Scorpio, this is going to be their 7th house. And then their 10th house would be Leo. So a Scorpio, even though that they like, okay, they're, them being, how to say this, a person who's very private, very, very subtle energy, because it's a Scorpio. Once in their career, because 10th house is Leo, they're exhibiting the energies of a Leo. So a lot of Scorpio can become famous. There are two very strong, charts, which is Gemini and Scorpio and Gemini, with regards to placement. Okay, with regards to placement. So there are different factors. That's why, because here having this Scorpio ascendant, you will see that if you want to be famous, then it's good to be a Scorpio ascendant, because 10th house is Leo, and having a 10th house in Leo society, you want the sun. But of course, it depends where your sun is placed, because if your sun is placed in the 12, then you do not get the energy of the sun. It's actually giving too much. But let's just say the person is also sun in Leo and Scorpio ascendant. So this person was born during Leo time, but they are Scorpio ascendant. Then you have someone who has the capability and the ability to shine. Does it make sense? But if sun, okay, if sun is in the 10th, so we're talking about now a sun in Leo. But remember, we need this. This is, the ascendant is very important to see your life story, how it goes to every houses, how it's gonna influence. Now, let's just say it's a sun in the first house, sun and a Scorpio ascendant, then also this person can have a very bright, very, very bright, okay, personality. Because remember, the first house where sun is exalted is in Aries. So once it sits on the first house, it's still getting that energy. So that is the importance of having or knowing the ascendant. Okay, so that is one of the strengths of each chart. Now, this is just an example for us to be able to understand our chart, because everybody's chart is different, and then it goes deeper and deeper and deeper. Because even though that this is your placement for your D1, your birth chart, your Navamsha will be different from another person. And then we have to consider also the degrees of the planet. We'd have to consider the, the placement of the lordship of each houses. And that's all gonna manifest differently for each person. So this is what I can share with you guys as far as the first part of our learning with Sal, the importance of ascendant sign. And this is why it is very important for us to know it. And then we can see, okay, how we manifest in this lifetime. I hope this was very educational for you guys. And make sure, again, you comment and like in the description box. Tell me what else do you want to know? What are the things that you want to see as far as connected with astrology? And I'll be more than happy to help you with all these different questions. But for now, this would end our session. This is learning, astrology 101, the basics of Vedic sidereal, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye guys.